Hi, and welcome back to Star Wars Insights. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, there's been a lot of discussion recently as to whether the final episode of the new Star Wars trilogy will outperform Avengers Endgame at the box office. And I personally believe that Endgame will far superior in terms of success at the box office than the final episode of Star Wars. I think it could be as much as $500 million more. I think Star Wars, based on the backlash and based on the many of the comments that fans are leaving online about how they're no longer interested in the current trilogy, I actually believe that Endgame will really outperform Star Wars to a minimum of $500 million, maybe even $700 or $800 million more. And I actually think there's more of a real discussion as to whether Lion King will actually outperform Episode 3 of the new Star Wars trilogy. Personally, I believe it will. I think Lion King will really maybe do $200 to $300 million more than Star Wars, because with Lion King there's a huge fan base from the original movie, but with the Lion King it will really depend upon the quality of the soundtrack, because with the original Lion King the soundtrack was one of the real selling points of Lion King. You know, some of the songs from Lion King actually were very popular songs that made it into the chart, singles. So one aspect, if they get Lion King's soundtrack right and it gets good reviews based on the soundtrack, then I think many fans from the original Lion King movie will come out in force and be really excited to watch it. Now, if we take Beauty and the Beast from 2017, which is a predominantly a children's movie, that did $1.26 billion, and The Last Jedi did $1.3 billion. So The Last Jedi only did about $70 million more than Beauty and the Beast. So it shows that Star Wars is performing alongside some of these big Disney children's movies that they're really bringing out in force this year. So I think that Star Wars, because of its backlash, I think it will struggle. I think Star Wars will struggle around the $1 billion mark. I could well see, based on the results of Beauty and the Beast, I actually think Lion King, you could add maybe $250 million onto that. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Lion King does about $1.5 billion at the box office this year. I can really see that happening. Whereas I think Star Wars will struggle around the $1 billion mark. If that, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes in about $800 million, based on the backlash towards The Last Jedi. So I actually believe that Star Wars will really struggle this year, and I actually believe that Lion King and Avengers Endgame will both outperform Episode 3 of the Star Wars trilogy. But I'm also really interested in what you think. Let me know in your comments below if you think that The Last Jedi has caused a lot of damage to Star Wars, or if you think that because it's the final episode of the new trilogy, Star Wars will bounce back and many of the fans will come out in force and support this movie. Please let me know in the comments below. If you think Lion King, I personally believe it's really dependent upon the critics' reviews and the soundtrack. If the soundtrack isn't there and is subpar, isn't quality that fans are hoping for, I think one of the main selling points of Lion King could fail and really damage the performance of Lion King at the box office. If you think differently, if you think there's still a massive demand for the Lion King regardless of the soundtrack, again, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. But personally, I believe that Lion King will outperform Star Wars, maybe as much as $300 or $400 million.